G'day viewers, Retro Man here, and welcome to episode 13 of Lost Songs from the 1980s. Today I have two really fun songs for you. The first one is by a bunch of wacky Aussies. Man, this song is quirky, and I tell you what, the front man of this band is just so outrageous, but he is having the time of his life. And the second song is an upbeat pop song by an English duo that I think really should have fared better. Everybody Wants to Work is a 1984 pop song by the Uncanny X-Men. They're an Australian band that was formed in Melbourne in 1981. Their lead singer is a guy called Brian Mannix. This guy was a bit of an oddball, but at the same time a great frontman. He really had a cheeky demeanour. He had what you would call the Australian larrikin spirit, and he pumped that into his songs. Now, this is the type of song that you could call an anti-work song. I mean, it's called Everybody Wants to Work, but after that he says, nah, not me. So it is an anti-work song, and of course Everybody Wants to Work is not up there with the great Australian songs, but it's one of those tracks that is just pure bubblegum. Now, Everybody Wants to Work showed up on the band's Beach Party EP, and of course in 1984, if you were a fan of the Uncanny X-Men, the Beach Party EP was one you had to have in your collection, and this is one of those songs that just contains such a strong drum beat. So the drums keep it moving, and Mannix keeps it, light, breezy, and really cheeky. And sadly, this track only reached number 31 on the Australian charts. But wherever this band popped up, this song just tore the house down. And for a short time there, it did become a little bit of an anthem. I mean, it's not exactly the song that they were playing outside the Commonwealth Employment Service in Australia back in 1985. But I tell you what, on the rock and pop scene, this was a song that did play, and this was a song that had people smiling. So there was a music video that went along with this, and I think it was just so quirky. Mannix is just so out there. He's hamming it up. I mean, he's sitting behind a desk. He's cheekily doing all this crazy stuff. And in the music video, Brian is sporting a mullet, and this guy is just bouncing around. He's a ball of energy. And when Brian is not milking the moment, it's a band video. And the boys there are really just pumping away, giving this song some strong backbeat. And I really like the groove of this one, the funk of this one, the playfulness of this one. I think it all works as a quirky kind of novelty song. So Uncanny X-Men and Everybody Wants to Work really is a fun track. And shortly after this song in 1985, Rod Stewart came to Australia, and Uncanny X-Men opened for Rod during their Australian tour. So this band was definitely on the scene, and what can you say about Brian Mannix? He's still out there today, he's still full of life, and that cheekiness is still in full swing. And he raised his profile a while back by appearing on Dancing with the Stars in Australia. That put the spotlight back on him and the Uncanny X-Men. So they're still going, they're still out there. And I tell you what, if you want a quirky frontman, look no further than Mr. Mannix. And a song such as Everybody Wants to Work probably is not everybody's cup of tea, but if you just want something that is feel-good, poppy and energised, take a bite out of this Mannix delight. So check it out, relive the magic, if you will, of a carefree period in pop history. Close Our Eyes by Go West is a delicious pop song from 1985 that will really get you energised. This is a track that is just so upbeat, and when you see that title, We Close Our Eyes, you think to yourself, what does it all mean? Well, for me, I kind of look at the lyrics in this way. When you close your eyes, you kind of escape the real world and go into this imaginary world. And when you're in that imaginary world, you can do almost anything. Just like the lyrics say at one point, you can walk on water. So it really is an escape from reality, this song. And this fantastic English pop duo really knew how to milk that theme for everything that it was worth. This is just such a fun song, We Close Our Eyes. And the band Go West consisted of two really talented guys. The front man, of course, was Peter Cox, and he had impeccable vocals. And Richard Drummy was the rhythm guitarist, and he did backup vocals as well. And really, as a duo, these two guys are dynamite. I mean, Go West really deserved to rocket up the charts. We Close Our Eyes had a synthesizer hook that is just unforgettable. Those keyboards in this are simply wild. But Peter Cox, I mean, he just nails the vocals. And if you've seen Pete in action, I tell you what, he has this commanding presence. He has a look kind of like an old movie star with that 80s vibe. So We Close Our Eyes was from Go West's first self-titled studio album, Go West, and this song stayed for 14 weeks on the UK charts, peaking at number 5. So that was a pretty good run. And in the United States, it didn't fare as well. It only reached number 41 on the Billboard Hot 100. But it did go quite well on those hot dance charts. It actually reached number 5 in the States. So, you know, a bit of give and take there. And in Australia, We Close Our Eyes made it to number 8 on the charts, which is actually not a bad innings. So it was played on radio here. I'm sure there are some people that fondly remember it. But this song really is cool, and for a short time there, the music video did play on rotation. I can always remember Peter Cox front and centre, you know, with those buffed arms, and he has that giant wrench, and he's dancing in front of those wooden dummies. It's not exactly the greatest music video, but it has a quirky touch to it, and it did have some fast moving elements just like the song. And Cox is just moving around, giving it his all. In fact, you could kind of look at his attire and go, he's dressed sort of like a mechanic, and that wrench, I tell you what. So it's a bit quirky, it's a bit different, but it's always watchable. Now, aside from that music video, you can still catch a clip of Pete performing this in '85 on a Dutch TV show called Top Pop. Now, he really went for it here. This is Pete in primetime action. You know, he has that 80s attire. He has the leather jacket on with the rolled up sleeves, the white t-shirt, the jeans, but he just goes for it. He is moving like nobody's business, and it is just an energized performance. And when you see this performance on this TV show, you'll go, wow, this is just like the 80s with a 50s twist. It's just a great clip, and it's much better than that music video. So seek out that performance on Top Pop. But I tell you what, Go West are a band that really deserved a better place in music history, because some of their songs are really cool. And I tell you what, the sound of this song with that signature keyboard hook, that is just something that really takes you to another place. The minute you put this track on and that keyboard kicks in, you just go, wow, I remember this song, but who sings it? What? Go West? Whatever happened to them? I'll tell you now though, Peter Cox is still out there. Go West is still in action. In fact, many of you will remember they did that song for Pretty Woman called King of Wishful Thinking. That was kind of the peak there in the early 90s with that one. But here back in 1985 when they did We Close Our Eyes, this was just the beginning. And really this is one of those songs that they're best remembered for. But at the end of the day, it still is a lost track. It's a song that when it comes on, people will immediately start humming. But unfortunately, it's one of those songs that is kind of forgotten about in the grand echelon of 80s classics. It's kind of on the cusp. It's trying to make its way into the hierarchy of great 80s songs. It's just underneath. But I tell you what, when you play it, put it on again, and it will just take you back. It has that instantly recognizable hook, and it just has an upbeat vibe. And I'm sure by the end of it, you'll be singing along with Pete and the guys. So We Close Our Eyes by Go West. It's a bit of a party starter and a song that deserves to be remembered. Well, that was a flashback indeed. Two very fun songs, man, the Uncanny X-Men from Australia and Go West from England. So tell me what you think of those two tracks in the comments below. Share your thoughts on them. Do you remember them? Did you used to play this on your boombox back in the 80s? Is this one of those songs that you just listen to on the radio in the car and it really brings back those fun vibes of the era? Let me know all of that stuff in the comments below. I'm sure some people do remember these two tracks. So as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It really helps. And keep watching this channel because I will be back with another episode of Lost Songs from the 1980s. Until then, this is Retro Man, living the dream, retro style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang. But in the meantime, please check out these other episodes.